I'm trying to figure out how would you communicate with light workers who think death is the best direction to go into. And it's like I try to have an open mind, but within that open mind, I have this rule that says, is life meant to live forever or just to die? Is the design of human life, the body, designed to live forever, or is it designed to die? The answer is a yes, no. So yes, it's designed to live forever, and that's the conversation that I want to have. But what it appears like the conversation is going into is, no, the answer is death, and here's why. And it's like, okay, the reason why death is all of these great, wonderful answers is irrelevant. It's the wrong direction. You can make the wrong direction look good all the time. That's the point. Going down that direction is the billion-year conversation that there's no point to. So it's like I'm blocked. I don't have an open mind when it comes to explaining all of the reasons, all of the excuses why to go down that path. Because it's like ultimately at the end, it's like, why do you have all of those excuses? Why do you have all of those complaints? Why do you have all of those reasonings? It doesn't make any sense. Why live out of the mind when it's designed to live here? You know your mind is in alignment with your body when you kind of win the game, create heaven. But it's like a perpetual state of hell to buy into all of those excuses, all of those reasonings that say, "Hey, this is a better." It's like saying, "Hey, want to win the lottery? Want to win the lottery? Hey, want to be famous? Hey, everything that's bad kind of looks good." So any story you got of why death is the answer to you still results in it ain't a good reason. There's nothing out there that is good. So it's like the only way that I can really bring out the conversation that needs to be had is, don't give me your excuses of why death is a good reason. I mean, everybody that kills themselves ultimately has a good reason why they're going to kill somebody, themselves. Anybody that's going to kill other people has a good reason why they want to kill other people. You always have a good reason to go to war. There's always a good reason to kill other people. So anything past that, well, death is the better reason because is supporting everything that's wrong. What's the question, the ultimate question is, why would you want to support everything that's wrong? What is the purpose of that? How are you a better human being? How is that love? How is that peace? I don't see any peace going down that path whatsoever. And I don't care how pretty you make that picture go. It's like, hey, give me big boobs and I'll feel better. Buy that big car, my dick grows. It doesn't work that way. That's not really, you can have a good idea in the mind, but when you come to be the creator, see if you actually create what's in the mind. If you are not in line with yourself, shit will show up. So that's the whole purpose of the game, the mind and the body, is you're supposed to get your mind in alignment with your body so that you follow through on what it is you want. You create your desired effects. Like me, I smoke. I know exactly what it is I'm supposed to do. And it's like anybody that has any suggestions towards me who is not in agreement with what it is that I need to do is going to be dead wrong. Only I have my answers. And I know every single time I smoke, I'm saying, I can't live in a world with people that just want to kill everybody. I can't, if this is what life is about, I just want to die. I don't want, if that is their idea of God, I don't want to go towards that God, like I will reject, so I will smoke because it's so depressing knowing that there's not one person on the planet that kind of sees the same thing I'm seeing. It's either I've got to join the game of death and be in love with it, knowing that it's dead, dead wrong. And if I don't want to be a part, feel like, oh, I just want to die, have that cigarette. Oh, guess what? I'm you. I'm buying into the death game just by smoking. See the the irony there? So for me to be in alignment with myself, I have to figure out, okay, why do I smoke? Why do I want to contradict myself like this? And when I know, it's like as soon as I change and be that mirror reflection, it'll change. And well, there just has to be a moment where you say, okay, enough is enough, and not buy into that programming. Because every time I buy that cigarette and have that smoke, it tells me you will not be able to communicate this problem. And it ultimately is me buying into a whole entire globe saying that I am wrong, and me saying, no, I think it's the rest of the globe. Clearly my soul came on this purpose to say and do just that. And it's like, I do not want this job. Ignorance is so blissful. I'd rather be dead than have this mission. Ergo, the cigarettes. There's so many contradictions going on that I do not want to do the mission that I gotta do. I'd rather be dead. So, um, at some point in time, I gotta accept my own advice and just not buy in to the labels that everybody wants me to buy into. And it's like, you know what? You can tell any story you want on this planet. Anything. You can make shit up. And if you're believable, people will believe you. So there's like the best advice I can give anybody about building your self esteem is tell yourself a great story, especially one about yourself. Because if you're not going to tell a good story about yourself, somebody else is going to say a bad story about you. So you may as well, declare who you want to be. Don't bother declaring somebody else to be a king. Declare yourself the king. Don't declare somebody else a president. Declare yourself a president. Declare yourself to be smart if you want to be smart. Declare yourself to be pretty if you want to be pretty. Declare who you want to be, and then just be it. It's just a story. And if you tell a good story, you walk the walk. If you can really, really be convincing, people will believe you. So it's like, why not tell a good story? And that's all I'm saying is, what's so wrong about my story? Ultimately, at the end, not one person gets injured. Everybody gets everything that they want. So, what's so bad about the story I'm telling? I just figure that that's kind of a good story. Where nobody gets harmed. Everybody's loving, everybody's excited, everybody gets to have the description of everything that they want, and there's no harm to anybody. No torture, no worry, no stress. It's like everything to do with heaven. That's the story that I'm saying. What is so wrong with that? So, and at the end of the day, I question those who would say, hey, there's somebody delusional. It's like, why would you say my delusion is kind of delusional? You know, why is your game of death, killing, murder, the destruction of the whole planet is more your acceptable way of looking at it? I just choose to be different. And sorry, there's a lot of really weird, different things out there like these elites. I don't want to look that different. I don't want to look like that group. So I would want to look a little different than they look. Really like religion, so I'd kind of like to look a little different than them. Don't really like light workers, so I'd kind of like to look a little different than them. So you know what? I probably look real different to a lot of people, which if you don't know do you have an acceptable word that's really positive and loving about something that's completely different to you that probably would scare the shit out of you? Because it would point out, hey, you're not responsible enough. I need to be more responsible. Today, for some reason, I'm just like, I just think of that cigarette and it's like I have the right to choose that this is the hardest thing in my life, or I have the right to choose that this was the easiest thing in my life. I did that with my school. I went through hell and it could have been the worst fucking year of my life, but I turned it into the best year of my life. Why? Because I declared it to be the best year of my life. And you know what? It was the most challenging. I had shit piled up. No human could survive that year that I survived, but you know what? I survived, and I have a story to tell that everybody said I did it with a smile on my face, which even gave me the award to say I was good at doing that. So I can do it. I know that I can make this quitting smoking something that's the easiest thing in the world to do, or the hardest thing. It's going to be what label I want to put it on. And it has nothing to do with chemicals, because all those chemicals are the chemicals that are in my mind that support the thoughts and the beliefs that I want it to have. So if I'm really, really ready for this, the mission that I was supposed to do that I don't really want to do because it makes me look real different. Not accepted. Everybody fears. I go against. Not a loving feeling. But it's just, hey, God didn't make any idiot. So that means anything I'm doing is God wanted it this way. Just the same as anybody else that has opposing views, or whatever your role is in this game. It's like God made that too. We're all an aspect of this to learn more of who we are, but I just gotta ask that it's like, who would want to live in heaven? It's like every experience of your life, if you ever used the word, man, this feels like heaven. You know, even if you had one really good weekend and it was like that weekend was heaven, that's kind of what heaven looks like. So it's like, how does that get created? And it's here on this planet, and it feels exactly like that, but only 100 times more. But it kind of is like, yeah, you know what you were doing back then? Be more of the same. And I don't understand why people don't want that. They want hell for some reason. Anyways, I don't know how to develop a conversation with light workers when it's, why wouldn't you want to live in heaven? Why is hell, and you can come up with 1,000,001 reasons why hell is so much better than heaven. What is so wrong with heaven? If it's exciting, if it's, that loving feeling all the time, what is so wrong with living in a world where everything is right versus living in a world where everything's wrong? I mean, I understand the logic that while living in a world where everything's wrong, you're gaining information so that you can learn how to do everything right. But at what point in time are you going to say, I know enough? Maybe when it shows up and somebody's challenging you on, hey, yeah, maybe now it's time for a course direction. We're now ready for that eternal life. Mind you, you said many have done it before. How do you know? Where are they? If somebody has lived eternally, where are they? I'd like to see them. If they didn't, then they don't exist. Nobody has lived forever yet. That would be something we haven't accomplished yet. That would be something to strive for. It's not something that comes, oh, we all live forever. It's not something that I would be able to live forever while y'all want to kill me. Or you can all make me manipulated into wanting to kill myself. I pretty much have to be stronger than the universe to think that your energy isn't going to affect me. Part of living eternally means every single person on the planet has to want everybody to live. As long as one person wants anybody dead on the planet, you ain't getting that eternal life. So nobody has actually done it yet. Otherwise, they'd still be alive to tell us how it's done. And I don't see anybody that's how old. I don't care when they started doing it. I don't care how old you are. If somebody was 105, they've got something to tell me. If somebody was 200, they've got something to tell me. Anybody who is living the longest has more to tell than whoever's dying the youngest. Just a thought. Peace out.